About that, Ria.
Oh, exhilarating. I think what I love to see, especially at a World Cup, is the emotions of the fans. You see all the people attached to their nations, what it means to them, the players, all united. And I think what today, that epitomised, that shows you how you play counter-attack football. A team that I thought showed a bit of lack of respect for the Mexican team, the Germans. They left big spaces, and this Mexican team exploited it with pace, and they was direct. When they won it, they played the ball forward and ran, and they hurt this German team.
I mean, if they'd have been a little bit more decisive in the final third, like Cesc said, that could have been embarrassing for Germany.
Absolutely, it happened time and time. It happened what 5 or 6 times in the first half. It happened 2 or 3 times again in the second half. It was just their final pass or their effort at goal was lacking. Yeah. It was an immaculate performance from Mexico.
Just the one goal in the end. Lozano with the goal. Talked about him before the game, and well, what a moment for him, what a moment for his country. He'll be remembered forever for this.
That play from Chicharito there, Hummel's running out with a one-touch and spin, a defender's nightmare. But here again, it was all about decision-making, what we said. They got it wrong up to this point, comes in, takes his time. The cool, calm composure we had to finish that off was fantastic, because all of us here thought the chance had gone.
I know, where were the German defence? And quite frankly, who cares? To quote certain Barry Davis from way back when, of course, different sport. What a finish.
Yeah, it was a hell of a finish. Yeah, that was the one time they did have the quality to punish them, because we were saying, weren't we, that they've got to take advantage of the chances that they were creating. They did on that occasion. Superb finish.
But you know what? Hummels and Boateng, 2 vastly experienced defenders, winners. I wouldn't mind if the same thing kept happening all the way through the game. If there was inexperienced players, they're experienced. They see it happening. They have to drag people about. As the 2 centre-halves, you can see the whole picture of the game. You've got to tell your midfielders, get back in here, protect us. Fullbacks overcommitting too much sometimes, and we're getting caught time and time again with 3 players up the pitch.
It was almost like Germany were 1-0 down playing the last 5 minutes of the game, but all the game.
Yeah, they didn't read the game well, to be honest. I don't know if they were overconfident or because they really worked on it during the week, but definitely they were predictable. I don't think we've seen the best out of their top players, and that was the only disappointment from them.
Lots of counter-attacks in the second half, as well as the first half. I mean, you could probably put 15 together. With 36 shots in the match. I mean, I know Germany had a few.
But this is staggering. There's the 2 fullbacks there, right? Now watch Boateng, the defence here. 2 Mexican players. Why isn't he screaming at one of those midfielders or one of those fullbacks, get back in here and give us some support, because it's going to be 2-on-2 here.
He sees the whole game.
A better pass there, than they're out of the game. It's incredible.
He sees the whole picture, Boateng. He needs to say something. If he's not covering himself, which he should do because he sees that there's no one else, he has to be calling someone.
Where are they? Where are the fullbacks here?
I suppose we don't know. Maybe they were just ignoring him and he was shouting.
But to the naked eye,
you'd go mad.
Yeah, but to the naked eye, people think about defending is just tackling, heading, physical stuff. Yeah. A huge part of this game is communication, talking, telling people where to be on the pitch to make your job easier. They were left isolated, they were left open, 1v1, 2v3 half the time.
Rio, these are World Cup winners.
Yeah, they are. But you need a voice, you need to communicate.
Hernandez had an in-and-out afternoon. He was obviously involved in the goal. He did some great counter-attacks, but once or twice he could have done better. But should he have had a penalty? Do you think it perhaps a penalty?
Well, if that's me, then I'm shouting for a penalty here. But it's not clear and obvious, is it? There was discussions in here to say yes, it was, no, it wasn't. But if that's me going through, then I'm looking for a penalty there.
Yeah. I think every part of Chicharito's game, other than that final part, which was just scoring the goal, was
normally the other way around.
Yeah, was near on perfect today. His hold-up play, he tore the 2 centre-halves to shreds throughout the whole game.
Yeah. You wouldn't have argued if he'd have given a penalty there, but it's probably not clear and obvious enough to turn around and use VAR. So that's correct.
Yeah.
Stick with the referee's decision on that particular. The closest Germany went was right near the end, wasn't it? That incredible strike from Brandt.
We thought it was in, didn't we? I was off our chairs screaming. It was a fantastic strike. The technique. I mean, these guys will tell you a bit more about the technique because they're used to it.
Yeah, it was a hell of a strike. Didn't offer too much second half, but when he came on, this is probably the closest they got to it second half. In off the post, what a strike.
It's this angle here show you better. Look, the technique to keep this down and the power he generates is phenomenal. Bang. have that.
We've seen some great strikes against Spain, Nacho, Isco, now this one.
Yeah. Lots of effort. They had one or two other chances. Werner had probably the best chance. And Kimmich with an overhead kick, I recall.
Yeah, they had a few half chances, but nothing that suggests, listen, but they didn't do enough. And that's not normally what you see from this German team. And it begs the question, Sane, he'd be watching this thinking, I reckon I could have done something. He'd have given something different, a bit of pace. They look leggy today, this German team. They look laboured in all areas of the park. Someone like Sane, I know it's with hindsight, but he has that genuine pace that will scare defenders in situations like this.
They didn't, despite having possession, despite pushing more forward in the second half, they didn't really trouble the goalkeeper Choa anywhere near enough. They were ponderous, they were going forward.
It was a possession without ideas, without no intention, no creativity. It was poor.
There's quite a few examples of relatively poor German play, and I've done this job for many years, and I very seldom say that.
And poor decision making, Gary. And you wonder why they didn't create many chances. That's why that ball should go in there, right? If it doesn't go in there, then you come back out and you try to go out the other side. Exact same thing happens again. Why is it not going in there, or why is it not going down to the right hand side? And then it's whipped into the middle. And by the time they decide to do it, it's too late. Mexico have got all their players back. They're slow, poor decision making, not enough energy, and it happened so many times in that second half.
There was no zip to the play here from Germany.
Same thing again. Look, why can't he pass it there? Too many touches on the ball, and by the time they make a decision, they lose it. Too many times. And Tony Kroos, who we mentioned before the game, who's the engine in the middle of the park, when he did have time to play on the rare occasion, he did that.
He tried. At least I can give him that he tried. You can see that he wants, that he cares. Obviously, it's not his day. It didn't come off, but at least he tries. You know, he needs also the players. I know because I play in that position. You need your players in front of you to have more movement. I didn't see that. I didn't see anything different. You could have. I don't know. Maybe we don't like him as much as before, Mario Gomez, but he gave something different at the end in crosses. I don't know.
There's only one team in World Cup history, isn't there, to lose their first game in the World Cup and go on to win it, which is Spain in 2010.
You remember that, Sis?
I do, and it's difficult times. Exactly. The way from the hotel to the stadium, that second game against Chile, I've never, I don't know how to explain it, but the silence in that bus was like close to scary.
So what did you do to get it back then? What did you do to get momentum back? No, I know, but there must have been some huge things said in the dressing room.
There was.
What difference did you do? Because on that performance, they are miles away of Germany, aren't they?
Yeah, they were miles away. But you just need to keep going on what you're doing. Obviously, not what you're doing today, but what they've been doing before. I mean, they have talent. I mean, they have to show up.
Everyone can have a bad day, Ria.
Yeah, and that's very true. And I think that there's going to have to be an element of bravery in this squad now to be willing to take the ball and to really take the tactics that they've had implemented before this into their next game.